Hello, welcome to the Clarity 16.2.2 Feature Supportability Training. My name is Bill Yee. And today we're going to discuss the new improvements in the workforce modeling plans for Clarity 16.2.2. So what's new with workforce modeling plans? So in this release, parent plan owners can set fiscal year targets. Now, parent plan owners can set fiscal year targets to their immediate child plans. And once it's set, it pushes those target values down to those child plans so those individual child plan owners can know what to aim for uh, uh, when they're doing the add and removes for the individual plans. Now, in the prior release, we only allow publish all for the top level plan. We've enhanced in this release the publish all that any parent plan owner can now do a publish all. We've also added some new capabilities for that top level plan owner, one being a return all. Now, return all, what it does, it actually unpublishes all child plans throughout the plan hierarchy. We also have the ability to run a commit of a plan. So once you have all your plans are published and been approved, what you can do is run a commit, and it will actually lock down, make the whole plan hierarchy read-only, ensure that no operations can be done to that plan hierarchy to finalize your plan. We know also too we have the ability to new capability called rounds. So say for example you added some targets, you set those targets, and you see how that's within your plan. You may want to see a plan with a different set of targets and see how that actually looks. So what you can do is actually start a new round with and be able to define new targets. And what it does, it copies that there's a copy of the plan with this values, with the targets, and be able to tweak it and to view different perspectives, say from round 1 to round 2. So we feel the new rounds capability to be a great new enhancement while you're working with your workforce modeling plans. So why is this important? We know many organizations, including ourselves, go through an annual operating planning process. And during that process, you can go through many iterations, reviews, and approvals. So managing this process, especially in an enterprise scale, can be challenging. And we feel these new plan enhancements can help streamline that process and enable plan owners to set the right priorities to allocate the correct resources for the upcoming fiscal year. So things to be aware of is that workforce modeling plans is still beta for 16.2.2, but we're very interested in your feedback. So please take a look, play around with it, and if you have any questions or suggestions, please let us know. Let me give a demonstration of the workforce modeling plan enhancements so you can see them in action. So I'm going to give a demonstration of our new workforce modeling plan enhancements for 16.2.2. So the first area I'm going to cover are targets. And one thing to note is that targets are only available for investment OBS plan types. So let's go ahead and drill down into this particular plan. And you notice there's a new target widget here that you can enter your targets. And in order to enable to see targets on your plan, you need to go to the top level plan and click on Configure. And there's an Enable Target toggle to turn it on, enable it on your plan. So as you notice, if you go on, this is the top level plan. If we go into Edit, only the top level plan you're able to edit the total. And whatever the total is, you have to edit the values to the below hand for the child item and itself to equal that 110, for example, in this scenario. We also made some kind of niceties within this target widget, and say, for example, I type in 30, it shows the remaining area to let you know this is how much you have left to add within your child items or in your target widget. And this is particularly helpful if you have a lot of child items within your target widget here. Also too, if you go above it, say 40, it shows it is as a negative in terms of this what you have to go down with. So it's a nice area with that. Let's get this, set this back to 35 and click done. And these targets are pushed down to the child plans. If you go to Acme CRM, you see that 75 is pushed down to as a target. And also note, Acme CRM is not only a child, but it's also a parent of other items as well. So it can also edit the target for its child items and itself to make sure it meets its target of 75 pushed down from its parent, and so on and so on down the plan hierarchy. So this is sort of one example with the configuration of targets. So let's go through the scenario how you would go about in terms of balancing things out within the based on the targets are pushed down. So if you look at the Acme ERP is 35, and if we go there, that 35 is pushed down, and its current actuals are roughly 3. So it needs to go through a reduction of 3 FTEs in order to hit the target. So one thing you want to note, if you want to make a reduction here of engineers. So for ERP, it's 2 here. So we want to make a reduction of 2. So that will go ahead there. And also too, we want to make a reduction in the managers here, a value here of 1. Now, just like with plans, a change you make in one table will impact other areas. So if you make a reduction in, say, engineers and managers, it impacts, say, the managers here, managers table, and also to the person type table. So we need to balance this back out. That's part of what we do with plans. And here we'll make apply 3 from, take away for 3 here from Tanya Higgins. And this will balance that table out. And then also too, we'll take away from the employee count here to even it out on the person type table. So from right here, it actually meets the target, and the actuals have that equal. So then what I can go ahead and do, the child plan's already published, so I can publish this one. Say we call this, say, we publish 1, call it P1. We publish that out. So, and if we go to the top level plan can see ERP has been published, and it's meeting the target it was set for by the Acme HQ. So that's a scenario where you go around and balance it out based on the targets and balancing out the plans. Now, you don't necessarily need to have a target pushed down from the top level to start using targets. We call these partial targets. So if we go inside, I have a save view for a partial target. I have a plan here. So if you look at this example, there's no target defined at the top level. But if I go down to, let's say Acme CRM, it's already go ahead and applying targets even though there's no total set for it. So the child plans don't need to wait until it's pushed down a target down there. It can go ahead, work on this plans, and start doing allocations as they need to make sure they have an idea of what maybe to hit their actuals with maybe some assumed targets. Also too, you want to set some targets for your child plans as well. And then over time, at some point you could be doing changes, and maybe at some later time the HQ does set a target for, let's say, Acme CRM. It will not overwrite it, but it will go ahead. If you go to Acme CRM, it will get the total, then it can go ahead and do the balancing there. So that's an example of how you can actually use partial targets in the meantime at any different level within the plan hierarchy to do the planning there. So let's go back to the other plan, let's see, that I had before. So one of the things I want to cover as well is the ability to do we call committing a plan. So say for example, um, we can go ahead and let's say first we have all the targets have been met here, in terms of what's happening here, but also too we want to publish everything else. So let's do a publish all from the top level. And one thing to note right now, we remove the publish all from the action pull down, and then we have a publish button. Now before, when the items were published, before you can actually enter it out. But if it notices from the parent level, it has, child items that have not been published. In this Acme CRM, if I click publish here, it'll say that you have some child plans that are not published. Do you want to do a publish all in this case? So we're kind of we changed it now to like a smart publish button based on if you have unpublished child plans. So here I'm gonna do a publish all. It will go ahead, go through it. Same rules apply. If you have some undefineds in the child plans, it will those plans will not get published. And it'll run through this, and it'll work as it did before. And as we're working through this, you notice we have some new treatment in terms of a new widget does the coloring for the published plan. Now, once the top plan has been published, we have this ability now to do for committing this particular round. So we'll discuss more about rounds later. You always start at round one. And when you commit a plan, what it'll do, it'll lock down this plan for any new changes. So say if you're ready to go to approval, with upper management, you can commit your plan to ensure that no changes are made while you're showing your plan, your values to get approvals from upper management, for example. So when you commit a round, it'll prompt you letting you know you're ready to share because to do this because it's going to lock this whole plan down. And once you commit a round, we have a new treatment here and a new icon that is locked, and everything is locked within the plan here. If you go to the top level, the actions, you not only you won't be able to run any sync, and the only two items you're able to do is start a new round. We'll discuss shortly, and do a delete plan hierarchy as part of it. So you have this part of it. We also too, once you have it committed, we hide all the working copies because we don't want any other changes as part of it. So you won't be able to see you won't be able to see the working copy as part of it. So say for example, okay, we lock it down. They take it to the executive team in terms of reviewing these new the plan. And say for example they come back, it says no, you have to get down to 100. You have to get this down to 100. So what you could do now is that you could you can't open this back up. So what you can do is start a new round. So when you start a new round here, it's going to copy all the values. It'll copy the whole plan hierarchy and the values, your add and removes, and your targets to a whole new plan hierarchy. So if we do that, let's go ahead and do start a new round. And what it'll do, it'll create a new round. And what it'll do, it's in the process of copying the whole plan hierarchy to this new round. So it went from round 1 to round 2. And as it's running here, it's doing the copy. And then it's the only thing right now you'll see it's a new working copy. And it copied all the values. It copied the targets you had before. And also too, it copied all the values from down the plan hierarchy. So these were some of the changes in targets we had, the add and remove values from the previous plan. So then what you can do now is to edit this with a new target value of 100. and then they can go through the planning process again as part of it. So you can create as many rounds as you like, as you want to go to. We'll come back and balance this out later. But this is a way in where we go back to the plan list here. You see round one and round two with here. The other one was committed, and this one is the actual draft. So, but one thing to note is that if you go back to round one, you can still go and view some of the data here. You won't be able to start a new round from round one. You can only start a new round from the latest round. You can't delete it as you need to as well. So it kind of gives that a capability, within as you're creating the round, many iterations, or you can go ahead and use it as a way of taking a snapshot as over a period of time as well, as you're working through your plans and you want to track all the different values. So that's another way you can actually use rounds, or you can use rounds as a way of, seeing, different perspectives of different targets. I think that's what kind of the main use case we see as the use of rounds with this new enhancement. So that's another change. So we made some other kind of usability changes as well. So if we go back to, let's go back to the partial targets one and drill down. And one thing we said before in terms of the with the publish all, we had now the capability of doing a publish all from not only the top level, but also on any parent level. So say for example, these items aren't published. So if we have the smart publish button now. If we click it here, it'll let you know. You have some child plans that are not published. Do you want to do a publish all here? So if we do a publish all, it's actually doing it from this level all the way down to doing a publish all here. So we have that capability, doing a publish all on any parent level, and it also does it in having it here. And it also has the smarter capability. Say for example, if we recall this one, and then for example we go back to the working copy and publish, knowing these are already published, let's go ahead and you can just publish the Acme ERP plan, and it'll go and publish it that ways. Also too, we added the capability to do a return all. And what they'll do is that any plan that has been either approved or published, it will go ahead and return it. Now you may want to, if you don't want to use rounds, or you want to make some changes, like table changes, different configuration changes, where you want to completely do a return all, you can. And this can only be done at the top level. And if you do a return all, if it's been published, it'll unpublish it all and give you a prompt. And if you see it, it will unpublish all the items here within the plan hierarchy. And that concludes my demonstration of the new work plan enhancements for plans for 16.2.2.